Everybody, welcome back to Video Esoteric and a continuing series What? Why? Where I take a look at some of the weirdest games that I enjoy playing, and today we're taking a look at Incredible Crisis, which is just a collection of minigames, but the entire overarching story behind them and the minigames themselves are absolutely hilarious and absurd. Interestingly, this was made by Polygon Magic that would go on to make Thrill Drive 3 and Silent Hill the Arcade, two very different games, but two I've either featured on my channel or will be soon, and I think are really great. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, that notification bell definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But jumping right into Incredible Crisis, if you've ever played any sort of mini game or variety game, you'll 100% understand what's on offer here. All you need to do is complete mini games as the office salaryman, and you can move on. But there is this deep, weird underlying story in the game that involves spies, the military, this man lusting after the woman in the red dress, and so much more. And you'll see here after we've completed this dance sequence, we get this little just mini cutscene where everything goes absolutely wild. This game exists to make you laugh, to make you smile, and to give you something to play. The gameplay is simple, but it does take a little bit of practice to beat the puzzles, but once you understand how the game works, it's just a hoot from start to finish. But my favorite observation is once this globe is dropped from the crane, you'll see everyone running away, and if our character just took 2 steps to the left, he wouldn't have to run away from the globe, and none of this game would happen whatsoever. But he decided to run, not flee, and now we're into our second minigame, which is a chase sequence with rapid tapping. I love that each individual stage gives you a new mechanic. Sometimes it's rhythm game, sometimes it's puzzle, sometimes it's more navigation based, but each individual puzzle is going to give you something different to do, and you'll see here that at least for the time being we were able to escape from that globe onto an elevator. But in this gentleman's life, absolutely every area is fraught with danger, and no matter where he goes, there's always going to be something new to do. And I just love the character models. This game works on PlayStation 1. All of the blocky polygons, all of the pixelated textures do a great job of telling a story. I will say sometimes this game can be maddeningly frustrating even if you know what to do. We need to rapidly tap the emergency button on this elevator while also moving left and right to avoid the things that are falling down on our heads. If you get hit, you fall and that meter starts going down. If it reaches 0, you're going to just explode in the elevator because it's dropping to its death. But even when we do that, somehow the elevator manages just to explode, throw our character out of a window, and fall all the way down this building until he finally hits a flagpole in a very Three Stooges-esque cutscene. And now it's just again a rhythm game. Go ahead and tap the X button when you're in the green and he will be able to progress forward. Do anything other than that and you're almost going to fall off, and then need to move the directional buttons left and right with momentum to try to get it to stop in the green so you can progress. It's so simple at face value, telling you what you need to do, but actually having to do it in game when you know a loss is on the line can be quite difficult and challenging. But that's the fun of this game. It asks so little of you, but it makes it so hard sometimes. You're compelled to keep trying until you get it right. And if you're playing with a group of friends, passing the controller back and forth in between rounds or deaths, this is an absolutely incredible party game, even if it only is a one-player experience. But we've reached ground level, and again, here comes that globe, and he finally does take that step to the left. He listened to what I thought he should do, but it doesn't matter, and I am jumping back and forth in the game just to show you guys some of the other cutscenes and things going on. But the game does give you specific directions on what you need to do before you go into a round, and now we have been dumped out of an ambulance, and I'll show you how we got there shortly, and we are racing this gurney down the streets of the city. You have to avoid all of the obstacles, the motorcycles coming towards you, all of those gates, and you need to be able to succeed long enough to get that meter marker down to 0. Once that happens, you're going to complete the round and move on. Seems easy, it isn't unless you practice though, and that's what I love about this game. It's a very practice makes perfect situation, but it also has an absolutely spectacular and really funny and perfect soundtrack for what you're seeing. So while our friend here goes down the street on a gurney luge, go ahead and listen to the soundtrack for like 45 seconds, and I'll be right back. I mean, it's a fun soundtrack, and you have to remember, if you weren't around in the 90s, ska was a big musical genre for a hot minute, and then it went away and never came back again, but it has its place here in Incredible Crisis. But when we were in the ambulance, we were answering trivia questions, and that's why you want to play the North American version of this game. The Japanese import copy is much cheaper, but it's in Japanese, so if you don't read the language, you're going to have absolutely no idea how to answer the questions. Some of them in English are quite easy, other ones are definitely logic puzzles that you're going to have to spend some time understanding, and you'll see there that we do have a timer, so you can only spend so much time before answering, so sometimes you just have to throw a guess out there and hope it's correct. But for the most part, the questions aren't that hard, and you're going to be able to progress through. But now that we've taken care of that, you will see that they just shove us right out of the back of the ambulance, and that's how they take care of us when we are well. And now skipping back ahead, after doing the ambulance gurney chase, we hit that boulder again, that globe, throwing us into the sky. That globe is going to be all over this game the entire time. But of course, our friend here's crush from the office comes back, and the next mini game is absolutely hilarious and probably why the game is most well known, because he is definitely interested in her, even though it's a very naughty aspect, because he has a wife at home. He should not be doing that. But I love that the moon comes into this heart here, and then fighter jets oddly go across the top of the sky. Now, Crazy Circle is very interesting. You need to go up, down, left, or right, clicking back and forth until you find the secret spot. Now, you can presume what that secret spot is that you're searching for, and I will let you have a little bit of audio to better understand. But in the game, he is giving his office mate a back massage, but this is definitely very tongue-in-cheek, and the audio 100% tells that story, so just listen for like 20 seconds and I will definitely be right back.
Tiny bit, ooh, just a tiny bit, there. Further right. Further right. Oh, yes, you're the best.
Our friend there is very good at finding the right spot for an effective and satisfying massage. And now that she has jumped from the Ferris wheel car, you're going to see suddenly she's in a helicopter. This game is just weird, and of course that's why I included it on this series, but it's also just fun and humorous. It kind of feels like a modern version of Leisure Suit Larry, where innuendo reigns supreme, but all of the puzzle aspect is great as well. Even if you didn't have all the weird story, all of the little mini games would be a ton of fun. But we are jumping from that helicopter, grabbing onto our office mate, who weirdly tried to get away from us the minute we gave her that really good massage, and now we are in a battleship fighting fighter jets while this Simon looking UFO comes down from the sky. How does it all tie in? Well, the reality is it doesn't. This game does absolutely whatever it feels like with its story, and it just shows you something new and something weird. Don't worry about continuity in this game. Don't worry about understanding what's going on. You'll get enough to understand the gist of it, but really looking for a complex story in Incredible Crisis is like trying to find water in the desert. You're probably not going to succeed. But again, it's just a fun game. The mini games are great, the sense of humor is great, and the graphics look really good as well for a PlayStation 1 game. Now granted, I am playing this on DuckStation and enhancing them for the capture, but even on an original PlayStation 1 with a CRT, it looks really good. And now that we've landed in this small boat here, you're going to see this middle-aged man just bonking himself on the head. I don't understand why, just hitting himself with a brush, and that is what the game does. But next time you have a bunch of people over for a game night, whether it's board games or you're playing video games, if you have the ability to put Incredible Crisis on, 100% do it, because I don't know why our friend here decided to pull the plug out of the boat, but we now need to bail water. Incredible Crisis is a weird game, there's no two ways around it, but the gameplay is spectacular, and almost all of the games I've been showing on What Why have really good gameplay and just use weirdness as an extra hook to kind of get you intrigued in the game, and Incredible Crisis is no different. It is fun, it's diverse, and it has a great sense of humor, and is always tongue-in-cheek with what it's showing you, and I just absolutely love that. I'm curious who's played this game before, because I know at least a few of my subscribers have asked if it's going to be on this series, because some people know ahead of time, and someone asked for it by name. But short of that, Incredible Crisis, pun intended, incredible game. We'll see you guys next week, and we have more videos throughout the week as well, but our friend here is going to drown. Bye-bye.